Growing up on the Tiwi Island was pretty special. I get to walk around barefoot, not a care in the world. Hello, Neff! Yeah! You being a good boy at school? Good boy.
In year 2.
Are you year 2 now? The shop doesn't really open on a Sunday back in the day, so we used to go and hunt for our food or fish or whatever it is, so it was real laid back. See that thing going out there? Big fish.
What's going out?
It's going that way. Played a lot of footy, kicking the Coke bottles around at a young age, and I was probably about year 8 when I moved to Darwin from the Tiwi Islands, and that's when I first started playing an actual game of footy. Played a fair few games for St Mary's, under 14s, under 16s, and won a couple of premierships there, which was nice, and got that exposure to play junior footy here in Darwin. And then my first game on the Tiwi Islands, I was probably 16 years old, until I actually got my first, Imloo Tigers jumper. Probably on my bucket list when I do retire, I get to hopefully one day put on that St Mary's jumper again, or that Tiwi Bombers jumper. Ah! What do you reckon, Matty?
Beautiful up here, man.
You like it?
Yeah.
Different, eh? Just real laid back, I was in a boarding school in Darwin. I went to St John's College for a year, and then obviously went back to the Tiwi Island for a little bit, did a term over in Tiwi College. So the Tiwi College, it's a boarding school out in the bush, which is, you can't really, run away from school to go back to your communities because it's pretty far. Monday to Friday is when you go to school, and then from Friday to obviously Sunday you go back home and spend the weekend home and with your families and your communities, and then get picked up Monday morning and then start again. So it's pretty cool and pretty different sort of boarding school, but yeah, living out in the bush is pretty cool itself. See that? I've got the whistle. See? Mimic a little baby plover. I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to attend St Patrick's College in Ballarat, and I thought, why not take that opportunity, because it's a footy scholarship, and my dream was always to play AFL footy. I got the scholarship, and then my mum found out, and I told my mum about it as well, and all I asked was, is Ballarat close to Melbourne? And she said, yeah, it's pretty close, and packed my bags and went to Ballarat. The transition was pretty frightening, to be honest, because the Tiwi Island, you're just surrounded by bush. There's no city life at all, there's no big buildings. Went to Ballarat, which was a very, very cold, I think the coldest place in Victoria, so that was a big transition. But like I said, it was a footy school, which was pretty cool to go to, and no-brainer. I remember getting on a plane from Darwin to Melbourne, and then from Melbourne I caught a shuttle bus to Ballarat. I wore my singlet, I wore shorts and some thongs as well, so not knowing how cold it was going to be. Got there on the bus, and then halfway through I'm shivering, so I knew it was going to be cold and I was going to be in strife here. I remember my first day I was struggling a little bit, calling mum and dad and to come home. I didn't want to be there, and mum and dad just said stick it out, which I did. And I had Cyril by my side, so he messaged me every weekend to see how I was going, and it was obviously just a train ride to Melbourne, and that's what made me feel comfortable being away from home. I still had family not too far away, so did 4 years in Ballarat, and I think I started taking my footy seriously in year 12, my last year, so I was a bit of having fun during those year 9, 10, 11 stage of my schooling journey. And then my dad called me and said, what's the go now? It's your last year of schooling, and what do you want to do? Do you want to play AFL footy, or do you want to come back home? So I was like, I don't want to come back home, I want to play AFL footy. So I had to knuckle down and play some good footy, which I thought I did, and I was lucky enough to get drafted now from the Richmond Football Club, which I'm forever grateful. I wanted to achieve my dream, and that's to move away to boarding school, and that's what most of my family have done. So moved away from boarding school was the one thing that we needed to do, and Morris did that, myself, and you know, there's Willie at Port Adelaide at the moment, so he's done the same thing. So we all had to move away from home, and I think if you make sacrifices like that, because nothing comes easy in life, you have to make those sacrifices to get where you want to go. Forever grateful for Mum and Dad for shipping me away from home to obviously achieve a career that, you know, that I'm living now. It's pretty special. Hello, what's happening? Thank you for coming out. There you go. It's good to get back, like even just in Darwin, landed in Darwin, nice and warm, like that familiar heat that I'm always used to. But what topped it off was to bring my coaches, you know, my teammates up here. It was pretty special, like to showcase where myself and Morris are from and how we really grew up.